get some rabble going. And it's just unfortunate. I mean, I don't like seeing us disrupt liberal events. It's un-American. I didn't like it when people said burn Dixie Chick records. Don't buy them. But it's just, we all have brothers and sisters who are Republicans and Democrats, atheists and Christians. Just let's have a civil conversation. But don't shut us out of the conversation. Yeah. I think that's the key. And I think a lot of conservatives feel like the second they get out there, they get marginalized, it's described by the media, and then we have to defend ourselves. You're a child rapist. And you're saying, I didn't rape the child. Yeah. And I'm not a racist. This is not a way to start a conversation. No, I'm not un-American. No, I don't hate my grandmother or poor people. I just have a different idea of how to help poor people. And it's through our churches and through local organizations, and we think the social worker isn't as good as the pastor. This is just what we think.
All right, I have two questions.
Sure.
2 questions. I don't know if you have a Bible with you or if anybody does, but Matthew 25:35 is the verse about those. Matthew 25:35. I'd read it on the app on my phone, but I can't.
Yeah, it's the least
record.
among these.
Yeah. Why, if America was based on Judeo-Christian values, as you say, and then why isn't it the government's responsibility to enact those values, such as taking care of the least of those among us?
Well, I could explain that, and I think it's simple. It's up to the people to enact those values. The government is in a least good position to do that, deliver it, and deliver that service efficiently. All of the money that's been transferred to the Great Society, a few $1 trillion, if you'd kept that in the repository of the American people, by the way, the most generous people with donations, all kinds of good things would happen. We also believe that the government perpetuated poverty. We actually believe that when the government hands a check out and doesn't hold those people they're giving the check to any accountability, life changes. In any family, for instance, if a child is not getting up in the morning, if a child is not doing the right things, the family isn't going to just give them a check. They're going to demand some accountability and responsibility. So what we think is that the cities of Detroit and Chicago have been proven to be emptying out the very people that the programs were designed to help. They're fleeing. So our thing is, as Christians, we should help the least among us. We do. Read the book Who Really Cares by Arthur Brooks and see who gives the most money per capita in this country to poor people. And it's our churches. We tithe, and we tithe more. And if we weren't taxed so high, we could tithe even more. I know so many people who wish they could tithe more, and they can't because we're tithing to the government. I'd rather tithe to the people.
But
so this is the difference.
So you don't agree that the health care bill that was passed would do anything to help people like children that can't afford health care because of their parents, or people that are disabled from work, or like my grandparents who are on a fixed income? You don't think that it would help them with their prescription costs because of their circumstance in life?
Know this. Think about the two things in life where the prices go up every year and in all the other places where the prices go down. Look at your college education. Do you ever ask yourself why college costs 8% more every year? Do you ever ask yourself why LASIK surgery goes down in price as it gets better, why your computers get cheaper? We believe the private sector delivers better stuff quality. I would rather deliver a voucher of cash to your ailing grandmother for her to buy services at a cheaper rate with her choice than to sit and get in line in a government queue and wait for the only government program
You're in
the
favor
country.
of the $15,000 voucher?
Absolutely. In fact, I believe that Charles Murray's book, In Your Hands, which said all of the money that's a part of his social programs, take them away and give them to the people and give them vouchers so that mom trapped in a HUD house in Newark, New Jersey can get out of Dodge and go live somewhere else where there are fathers.
That $15,000?
Well, whatever.
That you're okay, just
whatever
that,
the money might
the $15,000 is what's proposed, though, and what's being talked about. My grandmother, who is widowed after being married for 60 years, is in an assisted living place.
Yep.
That would cover about 4 or 5 months, maybe.
Well, and
then what happens after that? What happens to my parents that have to pay?
Well, this is what families are about too. I mean, at a certain point, kicking grandma out of the curb instead of you. I'm your age. You know what I'm doing for my grandmother? I'm going up there and I'm taking care of her. You know what I'm doing? I'm taking care of my mom right now.
Okay. Don't talk about my parents not taking care of my dad.
You brought up. No, what I'm saying is, let's not personalize this. What I mean to say is something very simple. Family is the greatest economic lexus to help people. And if we have more families intact, other families can help other families. Families can go to a local church. All of these trillions of dollars we've spent on social programs, I believe, don't work. Have they helped an individual family? Yes, but at what price? And how much have they hurt families? So when we're talking about these things, we have to deal honestly with how we feel philosophically about this. We can't be episodic with one story at a time. Because I could tell you any story and you could tell me any story, and we'd really get nowhere.
Okay, second question.
Sure.
This is the
one. And then the last one.
Okay. Yeah. This is the one that kind of disturbed me the most. What is your vendetta against the FDA?
Oh, the FDA, let me tell you, it's not a vendetta. The FDA takes too long to approve incredible life-saving techniques and technology.
Okay, I
want
want to talk about the food part of the Food and Drug Administration.
Oh, I'm not. I'm talking about the drugs part, and that is for me the important part. The FDA does very good work in the food part, but the part in the D, the drug part, and that includes heart stents of the newest kind. You know, people are waiting 6, 7, 8 years. Now, if I'm dying and I'm laying on a bed and I don't care if the FDA's improved that stent and I'm willing to sign a waiver that I want to use it, why should I have to wait for the FDA to, quote, approve it for my use? I think when more people understand that there are good parts about these agencies and then there are bad parts, that in broad swaths they've gone out of control from agencies with 1,000 people in them to agencies with 50, 60, 70, 80,000 bureaucrats there. This is not good, and I think if most Americans knew that the EPA had 70,000 people in it, I think they'd go, do we really need 70,000 people in an administration like that? And what are they doing every day?
Close-ended question.
And is it good?
Do you believe in climate change, global warming, whatever you want to call it?
Of course there's climate change. It's just, is it man-made? And does shipping our industries over to China, Brazil, make that better or worse? And I think it makes it worse.
You do know we have a larger carbon footprint than China. We have the largest in the world.
They'll get there because most of their people are on rice paddies right now. Watch in the next 20 years and see what happens as their people go to the middle class.
But I'm talking about now.
Well, right now...
Do you believe that the government should do anything to just to help people have more fuel-efficient cars or reduce their impact on the environment in any way?
I think they're setting CAFE standards every day, and they do it, and I think that's a good thing, and you're not going to hear many people disagree with that. And I think that's about as far as it goes. I think we need to start worrying about the rest of the world and how they're polluting. And the more we ship energy jobs and energy manufacturing overseas, the worse. That ozone layer is one ozone layer. I think we keep those jobs at home right here and do our best to manage that stuff. And thanks so much. I really appreciate it.